Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call us to order for March 24th, 2016, regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Costa Mesa Sanitary District. You'd all please rise and join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'll remain standing, Vice President Perry is going to be a little bit late, so he asked me to fill in with the invocation. I'd like you to just this evening take a moment to remember the victims of the Belgian mishap, and also in honor of Jim Perryman's father-in-law, who he lost this week. So just a moment of silence for all those folks. Thank you very much. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Director James Perryman.
Present.
Assistant Secretary Arlene Schaefer.
Here.
Secretary Robert Wooten.
Here.
Vice President Perry will be late. And President Michael Schaefer.
Here.
Thank you.
First item of business is a ceremonial matter. We have a proclamation to present to Mesa Water for achieving their conservation goal of 20%. So we need a motion and a
I'll move it.
action.
Move the action.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Passes unanimous with one director absent. Now, this is going to be presented by Director Wooten.
What night is it?
Yes, did we have a know a night, which, or did we just pick a point to go to?
I don't have a confirmed date yet. I'll find out.
Okay, we'll find a confirmed date, but,
We meet on Thursday? We meet on Thursday.
Tuesday.
I don't think they meet the same day we meet.
Thursday? It's not the same time.
Not the same,
Not the same 4:30, it's like a
the
third.
second and fourth, or second, I don't know what it is. A lot of times,
We'll let them know that the board adopted the proclamation, and we'll get a good meeting date for Director to present it.
Okay.
well, I just have to know the date.
Yes, we'll get that to you.
If it's Thursday, I have some conflict.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other late communications, Scott?
No, Mr. President.
Actually, we did have a late communication.
Sure.
Mr. President, we did have a revised staff report, agenda staff report on the sewer licensing, sewer insurance bonding and license status ordinance. It's the same document, but the document, through the magic of electronics, it dropped a couple of lines, and there's a couple of sentences there that aren't real sentences, and this one just completes the thought about how the law works and what the case is meant.
Okay.
So that's the change.
Is that updated?
Nothing substantive. You do not have this one, no.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's substantive in that it's a better description of the law, but it's not, it doesn't change anything in the way you vote or anything.
You looked it over?
Yeah, I repaired it.
Okay. Nothing else late communication? Then we'll go to public comments. This is the time set aside for folks in the audience to speak on items within our subject matter that are not on the agenda. Any other items that are on the agenda, they can speak at the time they're considered. Seeing no one from the public, I don't think, then we'll close that portion of the meeting, go to the consent calendar.
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll make a motion, if nobody else has a disagreement with it, to okay the consent calendar, but I would like to abstain from the February 25th minutes because I was not present.
Okay, so then let's,
So I
your
move for
motion,
approval
you're going to
otherwise.
pull item 3.
Yeah, otherwise.
I'll move the remaining items.
Okay. I think she moved.
Or you did.
I
You
did.
did,
Second
yeah.
one.
I did.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on that? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimous with one director absent.
I move item 3.
Second.
Any other discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
That passes 3 to
You're abstaining on that one, right?
Yes.
3 to nothing with one abstention by Director Schaefer and Director Perry absent. Takes us to item X is 10. X is 10. General Manager's report.
don't listen to me.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 11, refund of sanitary assessment at 975 West 19th Street. Winnie Davis is going to give the presentation, but before she does, I want to kind of give you a little intro into this item. The staff recommendation on this is, as you can tell, is quite large, over $13,000, and staff will explain our reason for that recommendations. But I also want to bring to your attention, you don't have to approve that amount. And the district council will probably will make some comments that you're not obligated to pay that amount. If you want to do a lower amount, you can do that. But I just want to bring that to your attention after Winnie Davis gives a petition, and district council will have some comments on it as well. So.
Thank you. This is a refund for 975 West 18th Street. This property is essentially a paved lot. It doesn't have water or sewer hookup to it, and they have been charged as an industrial user since this property owner has owned it. I was able to obtain the amount of the sewer payments from the county back to the time that this person purchased this property, and staff is recommending a refund based on the fact that they have never been connected to our sewer system. We have not in the past refunded more than the prior year and the current year if we couldn't make the change, unless the people have written on their property tax check or payment that they were disputing the charges. We've actually never had anyone do that, but we have once before that I could find refunded a property owner that was not connected to our sewer system because they had a septic tank, and that was 3 or 4 years ago. So staff is recommending that we refund the owner since he's never been connected to our property. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have a question. In his email, he says he's under distress because he calls every year and no one goes to look at his property. Do we have any record of him ever calling in the past?
No, I don't know how we would have record of that. You know, staff is really good about if someone's calling and saying something, we would help them out. So, you know, there's always that, are we, you know, the city or the
Well,
not, you know, there's kind of that going on.
I don't want to make any assumptions, but my guess is that he's probably calling the city. And the city, not having any jurisdiction with it, is probably saying, we'll let somebody know, and whether they let us know or not, who knows. But I just want to make sure that he hasn't been calling here.
We just have no way to verify that, and a lot of people, you know, can say that, and we don't.
I certainly have not been asked to
Thank you, Rob.
do anything on the property until Wendy brought it up.
You know, he was surprised that he talked to me, so he said, you know, he's called the same number, but the reason why he says it's the same number is because it's on his property tax bill. His property is essentially purchased in 1980, something, I don't know, whenever it was purchased, a number of years ago. You know, his value is only like $51,000, so he gets about a, you know, $500 property tax bill, and then ours is like $1,000, you know, dollars. And so, you know, it's clearly obvious that we're on there and we're the substantial part, and you know, our number is right next to it, so I believe he's called us since we've been here for sure.
Good.
Is it appropriate for us to change our policy if we're going to do this? I mean, I'm not sure. We have a policy, and it's 2 years, right?
Well,
Actually, we
it's
do
1
have
year.
a statute on this. When I get to make my presentation.
Oh,
on this,
okay.
yeah, I'd like to round up the
I
discussion
mean,
on
I
that.
want to be consistent, and you know, it sounds like this is deserving of a policy determination.
And I agree, and district council has, you know, opposing opinion.
Yeah.
So it's up to the board, but our policy has been that we do 1 year, the prior year, and then if we couldn't make the change in the current year, we refund that if they can show they paid it. So district council.
You know, having looked at that property hasn't always been a parking lot. It seems like there was something else there before it became a parking lot. So there probably was a sewer connection at one time.
I
But
don't,
that goes back before your time, I'm sure.
well, in all the bills that I could see, there was no, building value. There was only land value.
Okay.
Plus
Counselor?
there's no curb cut,
Oh,
no driveway.
Yeah, Mr. President and Board, we do have an ordinance on it that tracks the statute, and at least the statute as we interpreted it at the time. And it does provide, as Wendy has said, that there's basically a 180-day period, statute of limitation for if you make that claim, you get the refund for that year, but no more than that unless you paid under protest and wrote that on your check. The statute, the state law says that from 1991 and earlier, if you had no sewer service, you're unlimited and you can collect for all of what was owed to you by the district. From 1992 on, it says there's a 180-day statute of limitations after 1992. Colin had analyzed this earlier, and he interpreted it to mean that the statute of limitations and the duty to pay were one prevailed over the other, and that was a reasonable opinion. But then there was a case that came down in which it seemed to validate the way we wrote our ordinance, which said that if it's 180 days, or that's the statute of limitations, so you have to file it within 180 days. That's a utility audit versus Los Angeles case. So the staff is recommending that you pay it, but we do have a concern about whether that's correct. And it's no fault of anyone's, because it's a very poorly written statute. It's a terribly written statute. It's hard to understand what they're saying in it. But we are a little concerned with precedent. But on the other side, the utility audit case was all about whether or not they were establishing a precedent, whether they'd waived it by offering to pay it. And the court said, no, they didn't waive it. So they were able to assert it later. So I don't know what you want to do with this one, but we definitely think that maybe you do have a legal right to not pay beyond the 180 days, but that's not going to make your constituent happy. And I know you want to follow the law and not make a gift of public funds, so you have a little bit of a difficult decision.
to me, the quandary is, again, it's his word against ours. I mean, he could have filed within 180 days with that phone call, but we don't have any verification of that, right?
Well, that clearly wouldn't have been a claim. A claim, it has to be something in
Official
writing.
claim,
And
yeah.
it was pretty much it has to be something in writing specifying what you're claiming.
Yeah.
And that would be a claim. And then if we had that, we wouldn't argue about it. We'd say, yeah, okay, that's valid. We need to act on it.
No.
But there are also cases saying your proof being an unknown person you remember talking to at City Hall telling you something, that's not proof at all. You know, anybody can say that. And
So we could essentially, based on what you said a few minutes ago, that we could award this back to him, and we'd still be within our rights under this statute that we're making an exception to the statute.
maybe we haven't waived it for the next person that comes around? Is that the question?
Well, the precedence things makes me a little nervous too. I understand that, but this seems extraordinary. And if we make an exception for this guy under an extraordinary issue, the next guy that comes along, we can still stick with the statute, right?
Yes. Probably try and argue this case. Yeah.
That's that way the precedence makes
And
me
I
nervous.
assume this guy has a copy of the staff report thinking, hey, I'm going to get paid. And so you're in a tough spot if you deny it now. So I apologize for that. And to the extent we didn't give a clear opinion on it, it was probably just a different, I'm blaming the legislature. It's a very poorly written statute.
And staff would fully support, just playing refunding the current year and the prior year. And I don't think that it sets a bad practice. I think you're weighing it. He didn't receive any service and you're taking this seriously. I think that's what, any individual would want. So I think, if you feel that what the district council is saying is important and about setting a precedence, then that would be okay, at least because.
Well, I move we pay the $13,259.49. Mr. President, I have a question.
I'll second that.
Question for Director Stallion. When OCSD had all those parcels up in North Linda that were on septic tanks, I think they had a mass of properties they found were not
Yeah.
connected. Did they just refund across the board, do you recall at all?
You know, I don't recall. I mean, I recall the conversation, but I don't recall the product of the.
Even Santa Ana Heights had septic tanks. I don't know what happened there, because I was on Laughville then. I don't know what
And when did the refund happen? I mean, the laws kind of changed a little bit since
Yeah.
the last 10
You mean
years.
the Orange County Sand District?
Yeah, was it earlier than 10 years
Yeah.
ago?
No, it was.
Okay.
It was longer than 10 years ago.
Oh,
wasn't
then,
it?
yeah, that was a different world then.
Yeah.
They might not even have that statute in
Yeah,
effect at the
state.
time.
Yeah.
I think that was a 2003 statute.
Mhm.
So we have a motion and a second.
You have something.
No, go ahead.
Is it worth our while, or is it make any sense to look into all the properties? And I mean, is there an easy way to find out if the same thing is out there multiple times, or is it
It could get expensive.
the cost would be prohibitive? Yeah, that's what I thought.
We do have a list of properties we know that are on septic, but we don't know that until we are faced with it. So it's very hard to know ahead of time if somebody is or isn't.
Yeah.
This item can be continued if you'd like to
I thought
have us get some more
continuing.
information.
We have a motion and a second on the floor.
I'm not gonna support the motion simply because I'm nervous about the precedence thing, and that's just my personal opinion. The other thing is, when someone gets in, this gentleman did a really good job of documenting and underlining and showing every year the charges. When you look at those bills,
Oh, I'm sorry, those are mine.
that's your underline?
Yes.
Did he provide these or did you?
No, I obtained them from the county.
Okay. Regardless of that, he gets this bill every year, and when you look down the list, that is by far, the single biggest item on his tax bill. By far. And whether he called or not, if we had some documentation that said he clearly called, obviously, we screwed up, we need to give him the money back. But I think he should have, I don't know, I think he should have questioned, or he should have been more proactive in trying to prevent this from happening personally.
Mr. President, we had a very strong policy of refunds that everything had to be in writing. The requests had to be in writing. They had to produce tax bills of the charges. They had to produce canceled checks. Nobody would have given an opinion over the phone. There's nobody who would have taken that upon themselves to say what's a refund and what's not because of the moving target that this really is. And my final comment would be, would it be worth having our council discuss this with any other agency council and see what other agencies do?
Yeah, from the get-go, I just felt like it should be continued, because I feel like we don't have enough, one way or the other.
Yeah, but
I
where are
have
we going to
mixed
get where are we going to get the information?
Yeah, what other
We're not going to get
information would we
anything more from
That's
him.
it, that's where I am. I'm not sure, but, I just,
We'll see how it plays. I'm gonna call for the question, and all those in favor of the motion in a second.
Aye.
Do you wanna offer a substitute motion?
yeah,
Go ahead.
okay. I'd like to move that we continue the item till we have just a little more research on it, being that are there any other properties out there or that we know of. I don't know, just, whatever.
Your motion is to continue the item.
Uh-huh.
Do we have a second for that? That motion dies for lack of a second, so I will ask for your vote.
Yeah. Okay.
I vote no. So the motion carries 3-1 with with me voting no and Director Perry absent. Okay.
Mr. President, can I make a suggestion? If the statute is written poorly and it's hard to interpret, would it behoove us to maybe meet with our legislators and with the council to try to rewrite that?
You're talking about the state, yeah, I
State statute,
think
yeah.
that's a good
I mean,
recommendation.
we're meeting with our representatives in about a month.
Yeah.
You know, we can,
Okay,
you know,
Yeah,
these,
absolutely.
I think that'd be,
Well, I don't care if you try that, but, you know, I mean, good luck.
all we can do is try.
Yeah, no, I just, I
Don't be
would go up
pessimistic,
there
Rick.
and talk to them and, you know, there's a lot goes into rewriting the legislation. And, you know, suggesting that you rewrite it is fine by me.
And
I
we
wouldn't
get Attorney
take the
General's
time.
opinion too.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the time for us to get involved in trying to figure out how to correct it.
Could the association get involved?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it's something we could pass on to CSD.
I mean, we get one of these a year,
Yeah.
these refund
Actually, I put
requests.
it in, it would have been two, and that's in
If it would be
Yes,
okay, I think maybe we should document the dispute policy and maybe put it on our website so that it's available for people to read and look at, so that they don't feel like they're calling and not getting a response or.
I have one other question. On that list of his bills, there were names next to, who are those names?
Those are the county where it says Joshua.
Yeah.
Joshua was our permit technician that we had last year.
Oh, okay.
And so what they do is they populate the name off of this printout. They did this specifically for me.
Okay.
But on the actual bill that you get, it just has our
Yeah.
phone number and no name.
I don't remember seeing a name on my,
Yeah,
and I get to pay that one.
this is an internal document that they provided to me.
Okay, then let's move to item 12, Scott.
And we apologize
Oh.
if the board got blindsided by this whole thing. We should have apparently gotten you something earlier that you had a background paper on this.
Item 12?
Thank you, Mr. President. Milwani Midway is going to give this presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Before you is our biannual conflict of interest code review. We have made several changes to our Exhibit A in our recommendations on who needs to file a conflict of interest form annually. We had to change the title for the district clerk position. It was formerly the office manager / district clerk, so we corrected that information. We are adding the finance manager as well as the wastewater superintendent positions as listed required filers. And we have eliminated the position of operations manager because we no longer have that in our structure, and we are no longer requiring the management analyst position to be a required filer. So with those changes, staff is requesting that the board adopt resolution 2016-879.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any questions for staff? All those in favor?
aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with Director Perry absent. Okay. Scott?
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 13 is contract administration and inspection services for 3 sewer capital improvement projects, which we'll be considering later on the agenda. If the board does approve those 3 contracts, then just for your information, this is for a final report, then I am going to approve a contract administration inspection services proposal to Robin B. Hingers Associates for 3 projects for a total of $52,640. Industry standard for contract and inspection services is generally about 10% of the contract cost, and Rob Hingers Associates proposals are, as you see, well below those 10%, along with his knowledge and expertise of these projects. I think it's in the district's best interest to allow them to provide that service.
Move it?
It's just a
Second.
There's no action.
There's no action.
No action.
I just want to say it's a good job. Wow, it came below. That's really, really below everything.
Okay, then item 14, building upgrade.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just a real brief update. We're proceeding. We're moving right along. We have contacted some contractors. They toured the facility last week. They will be giving us courtesy bids on April 1st. This afternoon, I met with our consultants on the furniture, fixture, and equipment costs. So I do have a cost on that. I'm not ready to prepare that today. I wanted to put it all together in one big package for you. So I'm shooting maybe the first week of April. We'll probably be meeting with a special meeting, so I can share you those numbers and get your
Is
direction.
big the operable word?
No comment at this point.
Package?
No comment at this point. It depends on what you mean. It depends on what you, how you define big.
Everything's relative, isn't it?
Above $250,000?
Still, it just depends on what you. So that's all I have to report.
Okay, any questions for Scott on
Oh, I
that?
just wanted to mention, you do have in your attachments the proposed designs and what the building looks like for the improvements. So if you have any questions.
When do we close? April something, right?
Yeah, they just said they did another extension. The tenants are expected to move out April 8th. You know, sooner than we expected. Yeah. So, yeah, right now I think it's till to April, unless we get another extension.
End of April?
Yes.
So you're gonna have these contractors ready to rock and roll?
No, this is just courtesy bids. If you approve the budget, then we'll have to do some actual. We'll have to actually do some
Real
construction
bids.
documents. We haven't designed construction documents. These are just really basic designs, so we can get some good numbers. If once you approve the budget, then we'll have to go out and bid, seek proposals for an architect for designs. And we'll have to do proposals for bids for the construction improvements. But I'll lay out a plan how we can all do that. Our goal is still to get in by October. That's still the goal. I think we're still on that schedule.
If I may, so it will close the end of April? How are we gonna pay for this?
Well, I said we're meeting in April to have that closed session, or have that open session meeting.
Like the finance corp, if we go that way?
The finance course just waiting.
Yeah, it's, it depends on when. If that meeting happens the first week in April, and sometimes the week of April 4th, that you're talking about, week after next, that whatever the board approves from a budget standpoint, we'll come up with that number and have that resolution for you at the same time, so that you can, at that same meeting, adopt that resolution. Then we'll forward it on up to CSDA Finance Corp to start the process. I don't know if they'll get done by the end of April, so we will need to be prepared for. Coincidentally, we had 3 securities get called this past week, and so I'm sitting on a lot of cash right now. I have not reinvested. So.
How much down are we putting down totally? Is it 500?
That was the initial amount.
400.
400.
In total, we're out of pocket right now, just to the building, not all the other things we've done, 450. We put 400 down after the 50,000 opening.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good leverage, huh? Is that 15%?
Depends on what number you come up with.
Depends on how big the group
That's right, it's all relative.
How big the diets do. Okay, anything else?
No, that's good.
Item 15.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a contribution applications from the Costa Mesa Foundation for a $25 contribution to Concerts in the Park, which is what we did last year. Basically, with that amount, we get a booth every week in Concerts in the Park, which I believe worked very well last year for our gas recycling program, and I think it's still very worthwhile for us to get our programs out there and still promote the organic recycling.
Yeah, I concur with Scott. I mean, the ones that I went to, I think people really, especially as we were transitioning and moving towards the organic stuff, I think it worked well.
I talked to Karen Balloon and told Scott that, the theme for the concert.
No, it's community run.
Hey,
the
the
community
community
run.
run, yeah.
Okay.
Same thing. Okay, so then the request is for the the gold level sponsorship.
For $2,500, yes. We need action on this one.
Is that what we did last year? I'm moving.
We had a motion. Would you like a second? Any other discussion? And I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries 4-0 with Director Perry absent. I'm sure they will appreciate that. Too bad they do them on Tuesday nights though.
I know,
And in the summer,
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's another meeting on Tuesday. That's- Okay, engineers report then, we'll move to Rob.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. Item 16, project status report. Happy to answer any questions. Things are moving along very nicely.
Any questions for Rob? Okay.
Thank you. Conflict of interest report, nothing to report this month. Thank you. Moving to our 3 projects that were activated simultaneously, and all 3 came back significantly lower than the engineer's estimate that you can see in the report. So district is very pleasing to see such low prices at this point when you would think everyone's so busy that the prices would be going up, but it's the exact opposite. These contractors went significantly lower than they intended to be to be able to get these projects. Talking about them, just all 3 together, Project 200B and 202, we're very fortunate to have GCI, which is Terry Gillespie and his firm. They have done quite a few projects. They bid for us and been low bidder, did a wonderful job. They also were the contractor that helped us during when we had the President Pump Station Force main break, and we were out there all weekend. President Schaefer, you were there looking into the matters, and there was wastewater everywhere. So we're very fortunate that items 18 and 19 are GCI. We would consider them right now our #1 contractor. And then item 20 is Insituform Technologies, which is Insituform is probably the founder of cured in place pipe. So they're very strong nationwide, and I am a little worried about their bid too. However, they are a nationwide company out of Missouri, and they do a lot of work in California. So they have good forces out here. We're very pleased with that. You'll notice on item 20, we asked for a little more contingency because we have a manhole that is over in East Santa Ana Heights that needs the same kind of structural liner that we're having on the Indus sewer manhole. So we're asking for a separate contingency for that so that we can have the same contractor perform that at that manhole. So all in all, these are very low prices, and staff recommends all the items shown, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3.
move 18, 19, and 20.
Second.
Further discussion? Call for the question, and all those in favor?
Actually, could you do one a vote for each one of those?
Yeah,
No,
contract.
they're big enough.
You want to rephrase that?
Move 18.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0 with Director Perry absent.
Move 19.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes
Aye.
4-0 with Director Perry absent.
I move 20.
I'll second it.
Gotcha. Discussion, call for the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That one passes 4-0 with Director Perry absent.
Thank you, board members.
Thank you, Rob. Did you notice Mesa Water had a main break this week?
Yeah, yeah.
Where was
they
it?
did.
I knew you were gonna ask me that, and I think it was on Baker Street.
Well, they've had them all over the city.
Well, this was a pretty major one. It happened to show up on somebody's Facebook account. Probably my brother's, since he's now retired, but I guess it was a pretty substantial break.
Well, they had one on Mesa Verde, and they were fixed that and ahead of some other one.
Yeah.
Well,
One Monday.
if you use City of LA as a benchmark, for the last 5 years they've averaged 3 breaks a day. and that's 7 days a week. So 3 breaks a day, 7 days a week. So you can imagine what their crews are doing.
Thanks, Ryan. Mark, any for us this evening?
No items this evening, Mr. President.
Okay. Counselor, item 21.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have as item 21 your general manager's agreement and his performance goals. We took the opportunity to reintegrate our provisions and give you one comprehensive agreement instead of amending it since it had been a few years. So it is before you with the new goals. It incorporates the authority given to the president as the negotiator and a little bump in the severance pay, but no other compensation changes. It was submitted for your approval.
Any questions?
Move for approval. As presented.
Second.
Any other discussion?
I wanted to make him sweat.
His eyebrows were starting to raise a little bit there.
I do like that.
All right, any other discussion on it? And again, just to highlight the major changes to the severance. That was it. All those in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes 4-0 with Director Terry Ellison. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Al?
Thanks, Mr. President. Item 22 is your revision of the operations code for sewer permits and the insurance, bonding, and license status requirements pertaining to sewer permits. And we have gone back and polished and revised a little bit in response to the board's comments last time. And we bring it back to you with the major change from the last time you saw it. We still are requiring staff to verify the license status of the contractors before they get a sewer permit. We think that's fine. And the performance bond was just fine also since it's on district jobs and that's required by state law. But the only change was on the license status for working on 2 different kinds of sewer jobs. One is the private job and the other is the public job. And by public we mean either on district facilities or appurtenances or in the right-of-way. And if it's either one of those kind, they need the higher license, and if it's a private sewer job, then if it's a C-36, it's just fine. But what we did was we wanted to be sure that they had insurance if they were going to either be in the right-of-way or touching our facilities, physically touching our facilities, that they had to have the commercial general liability and the automotive and all the other insurance that they should have, XCU, underground, and that's the way the ordinance ended up being, and we think that's appropriate. We think that's consistent with what the board wanted last time.
I know I personally feel more comfortable the way it was done this time. I hope that helps with what we talked about earlier with the expediting the permits and everything.
Yes, staff's implemented and it seems to be going okay.
Yeah, I was going to say the staff, Scott and Wendy have sat down and I think there's a nice protocol in place and there's a checklist and I think it's going to work.
All right, any other questions for staff? I will entertain a motion.
Move it. Move it.
Second.
Ordinance number 112.
Yes.
Second by Craig Brown. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That carries 4-0 with Director Terry absent. Okay. And we will move into local meetings if there's nothing else.
Orange County Sand District was last night, and it was really kind of a short meeting, but we did manage to hire an engineering firm for support staff services for the next 7 years to the tune of $41 million. So that was somewhat significant. We also are consummating the sale of the Rocky Point Pump Station on 101 or on the Coast Highway down there right across from Orange Coast College crew deal. We've been working on that for 18 years. When I was chairman, it was right about the middle of, I mean, it's just crazy, but Orange Coast College is going to be the eventual owner of it now. City of Newport is involved somehow, but anyway, that's coming for $1.8 million. It's just that little hunk of ground, you know, that it's right there, fronts on Pacific Coast Highway. Also, John Nielsen, the chairman, was up in Sacramento lobbying, and he ran across a guy named Rich Gordon, which I went to school with, and he's an assemblyman for San Mateo up there. In fact, I think, did you meet him when we went up there last time? I think we did. Anyway, John met with him, and he knew that I was on the board, and so he was kind of bad-mouthing me and telling John some off-color stories.
Which John wouldn't repeat at the meeting.
That's right. Anyway, that was it. And I just got back from the Santa Ana River flood control meeting since Art isn't here. We talked to Jim McConnell back in D.C. on the phone, and the Santa Ana River flood control project, it got more funding in this last go around, which is good. The Westminster Eastern Garden Grove project is going to be delayed about a year for funding, just the plans, and October 20th of 17 is when they think they'll have the feasibility study funded. So that was kind of bad news. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can get that turned around with the Army Corps of Engineers. And then what else?
Jim, there was an item that I observed called designation of applicant's agent for disaster relief. Apparently, Orange County Sand District thought they needed to have a designee in the hierarchy, like Herber and others, so they could move, keep ahead, so they could move proactively. So I observed that, and I'm going to give it Scott, just to see if that kind of policy is needed here. It was just a policy to give authority to the general manager and whatnot, to move forward potentially ahead of the board.
Thank you.
One other thing is the Santa Ana River Flood Control won the 2015 Outstanding Flood Management Project. I guess it was actually the Army Corps in that group, in the Lower Santa Ana River Reach 9 Phase 2B. So we're doing something right.
Which reach is there?
No, it's in here. I'll show you.
It must be hard for our local legislators back in Washington to convince their colleagues to give us money for flood control, and we don't have any water. I mean, I can't imagine these guys.
I know.
You look
It's
at
a
these
hard
people
concept.
in Missouri and Oklahoma that are 4 feet underwater.
But the Santa Ana River watershed is the most dangerous watershed, precarious west of the Mississippi. And if we ever do get rain, I mean, we potentially could get billions of dollars of.
4 or 5 dams after the 53 flood.
Did you all see that article about Mulholland and how that dam gave way in the, when our Santa Ana River burst? It was the same thing up there, and when that dam gave way and how many people died. It's just amazing. He said they had him come out and check it as it was leaking, and he said, looks good. And then within 8 hours it broke, and hundreds of people got killed.
Oh wow!
I mean, he still has a great legacy, but had to have been a bad day in his life.
Yeah. That's about all I have.
Thanks, Jim. I missed the executive committee meeting. I don't remember where I was, but I missed it. Arlene, did you have anything you want to?
No, just that, we talked about future programs and what we'd be doing for that and coming up on it.
Yeah, that seems, for ISDOC, that seems to be the hardest thing, is to come up with people to come speak, you
Yes.
know? And I've tried to bring up some speakers, and
Yeah.
normally Director,
This one?
no, guy
Oh,
from
Rich.
Water,
Rich.
Larry Dick.
Oh, Larry did, yeah.
I mean, he fights a lot of our speakers that
Yeah.
we want. I don't understand
Yeah,
it,
he
but
was coming up with some names too, and then, what's her name, not Leslie, the other one,
Joan,
is that, no, the girl, the one who's,
Sandra Jacobs.
no, not a board member, just the one, that-
Oh, Mary Eileen.
no, not a board member.
I'm
Sounds-
tapped out.
sounds
I'm
like-
tapped out.
The other one that sits up there, the blonde, the tall,
Heather.
Heather, yeah, thank you. Anyway, she said that, she would be contacting some of these names,
Okay.
so when we have somebody for,
Yeah, I was just gonna, the only thing from ISDOC that I have is, we have the quarterly meeting next Thursday, and it's gonna be at the Orange County Sanitation District office, not at the regular board meeting.
Ooh, glad you
I'm
said that.
pretty sure that was on the, would you mind double checking on the invitation? I thought I had brought mine, and I didn't.
it was gonna be
I
there.
just realized.
I can't go though, I'll be up in Sacramento.
The speaker that day is Paul Walters,
Oh, yeah.
former police chief from Santa Ana,
Yeah.
and he's now the chief of staff for supervisor, I don't remember. One of the county board of supervisors, he's for chief of staff.
Really?
Bartlett or,
I think it's Bartlett.
yeah.
So he should be interesting to hear. That's really it from this. CSDA.
Okay, on CSDA, we have Ledge Days coming up, and we have a keynote speaker, Chairwoman Ma. I guess that's how you say it.
It's like Ma to me.
Yeah, Ma. So, she's really supposed to be outstanding. She's elected chair of Board of Equalization. And, so she'll be speaking. And also, I had, first legislation meeting for the year, and we'd had so many bills, couldn't believe it. And we were kind of going back and forth with the Assembly and the Senate as far as opposing, supporting, and all that.
She's a
And,
legislator from San Francisco before. She had that
okay,
she was in either the Assembly or Senate.
okay. Probably if I read this, it would say more. And so anyway, we're, anybody that has seen any bills that ever, just let me know. We're trying to keep all the agencies informed on bills or what we can do to interact with the different legislators.
Just something from the Orange County Ten District Steering Committee, a bill they opposed.
Oh, good. Perfect.
And it has to do with it would be Rob's association with, or hired consultants association with an indemnification with the agency. Generally, the agency puts in, generally they are able to work, the agency and the consultant are able to work together, but I think that bill is trying to undo that.
Yeah, right now, the way it works for engineering is that they're only responsible for the professional negligence, but they can be responsible for other negligence that's not professional.
Do you know where it's at?
There's some bill moving through somewhere, I
Well, that's,
suppose.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the law as it is right now, but they're trying to change
Okay,
that
I'll
somehow.
check on it.
yeah.
No problem.
I think they're trying to separate.
CSDA is on it, so you might
Yeah.
check their bulletins.
And I'm going up next week for a meeting.
Orange County Ten District
Legislation.
wrote a letter of opposition to it. It might be attached.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good to know. Okay. Other than that, CSDA is doing a super job on everything. And of course, you know how RGM came through with that great letter
Yeah,
opposing.
That was very, very well
the
written,
noxious
yeah.
letter.
I can't take all the credit, CSD staff helped.
Yeah, but still, it was a
Scott,
combination.
take the credit.
We all thought Wendy wrote it, but I guess.
Yeah, we have sneaky suspicion.
I got a little nervous when he wrote his name at the bottom on how to contact him, and I thought, oh, somebody would try to take him away. So, but other than that, you know, that is very exciting.
Very.
So,
Thanks, Ernie.
I went to Waco and
Well, we're not to the other meetings yet. Sorry, Director. Just trying to keep you in line.
will you holler when it's my turn?
If you'd like me to. SDRMA, no meeting, but just a reminder about Safety Day, our annual meeting next week at the Marriott in Newport. You're all welcome to the reception on Monday evening, but then breakfast Tuesday morning is included. Full day schedule, including
Are we
lunch.
signed up for it? Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
I am, probably,
Where's it at?
Newport Marriott,
it's at the Marriott, Fashion Island.
Fashion Island, yeah.
Fine. Accepting
You better let her know if you want to go. I'm obviously already enrolled. So, Director Uten.
Okay, I went to Waco. I mean, we had the normal bunch of reports. But the main thing they were talking about is, you know, the snowpack is
Yeah.
hardly, only in Colorado is it more than 100%. So El Nino is basically shaping up as what half the El Niños do, which is nothing. You know, and then locally we've gotten less than half normal rain. So all the agencies, you know, worked really hard to prepare for it. So it was a good exercise, and 50% of the time it would serve them well.
You know, they had a lot of rain though up north. I was just up there last weekend, and at Los Alitos, or the
San Luis.
San Luis Rey. I mean, it's not to the top, but it is like significantly
We went
more
through there last
full.
summer, and you could tell it was.
Oh, it was
way,
down to
way-
nothing.
Yeah,
And,
I think some of the reservoirs up north are
Yeah.
They were talking about
and the
Folsom.
snowpack's 92%,
Yeah,
which
they,
isn't
they're saying
great.
Folsom, the docks are. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Folsom really got a nice jolt.
yeah, they got.
I was in Sacramento just the other week before this one, and
There's a
boy,
lot of water being flying.
Yeah.
rain.
north. Yeah, up north they're getting some rain, but you know.
Yeah, I said, would you pull it down here?
Well, yeah. It helps us. It probably helps us, and they always get more up north. In a normal
Yeah.
El Nino year, there's 75% chance that it'll be more than normal. And the local guys, Orange County Water District guys, have been giving us reports, and the rain that we do get here is pretty much all captured and put in the ground. So, you know, because of the increases in storage that the Corps is allowing in Prado, there have been none that's had to be released, you know, to go to the ocean, so they can trickle out of there and put on the ground. That's pretty much it.
Any other
I appreciate
meetings?
you letting me talk.
It's always an honor.
Art and I were at Waco too.
We have no old business, but we do have an item of new business. Director Schaefer.
Yes. When I was on a actually it was a conference call for the executive board of CSBA, and what we were doing, we were upgrading and changing around bylaws and policies from there so that we could have it go to a planning session that we have in June. And so in doing so, we came up with that, you know, in the past we've always had president of CSBA, not president of CSBA, the president of an agency getting president of the year. And we're not getting as many people for that office, and what they really wanted to do is spread it out so that people are more familiar and more agency members would be working towards wanting to, you know, be this. And so in doing so, we came up with this Board Member of the Year award. And so I would like to submit a name for this Board Member of the Year and tell you why before we even vote on it. And I feel that Mike Schaefer should get it. And for the simple reason that, number one, he's president here, and this is his second year. He's also been president at the same time with being on
ISDOC.
ISDOC, and that's been really back and forth. And then also, you know, he's SDRMA and does that. And I think if anyone was worthwhile of a name, it would be someone like that that's really into the things that are going on with agencies and also with CSDA period. And so I would like to make the motion that Mike be nominated for this award and get a biography to Nolani so that we can work together and then have it be submitted, because there is a deadline on it.
I would
Yeah.
support that.
Second it?
Second? Yeah.
Well, obviously, I'm very humbled. Thank you. I mean, we all do this stuff for different reasons, and I've never been on a board that was more dedicated to doing the right thing than this board. And I'm gonna start crying. Maybe. No. Thank you, Arlene. I'm
I
very
retract my
humbled.
second.
No. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you.
But I mean it sincerely.
I know.
So.
I know. Coming from you, I can take it. If it came from Bob, I would question the motive. But, just kidding. All right, then we have a motion to nominate Mike Schaefer as board member of the year, and we have a second. Do I have to vote on this, Alan?
Sure, you don't have to.
Yeah, but you can.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0 with Director Perry absent. Thank you. That was very nice.
He
That
would,
supports
he would
that
vote
as
for
well.
it.
Yeah. Thank you all very much.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Thank you. When do I get my trophy? Okay, oral communication director comments. Just a couple quick things. I'm going to echo what Arlene said about the article with Scott, and whether you did it or CSDA did it, it took a lot of work, and I think it really demonstrates your dedication to your profession that you wrote that, and congratulations for doing it. Everybody that I've gotten communications from is all positive. There's been no negative about what you wrote, so really good job. I also want to congratulate Steve Cano on his appointment, if you want to.
Yes, Steve Cano has been appointed to the board of directors on SARBS. That's the local session CWA. We never had anyone on that board before, so his first meeting was today. Yeah, but you were on Costa Rica Sanitary District representative. So first one on Costa Rica Sanitary representative that for me. So very kudos to him. Yeah.
And when I saw Steve yesterday, I called him our district celebrity for the nice article that was in the newspaper about Sewer Slayer, and
Yeah.
he represented the district extremely well, and congratulations to Steve. Just also, I don't know if this will ever play into what we do with the district, but last Wednesday I attended the dedication at the fairground to what's called the Heroes Hall. Kind of a spearheaded thing with the fair board, Nick Berardino and some folks, and I was honored to present them with a check for $25,000 from a foundation board that I sit on. And it was really a cool ceremony. I mean, there were a lot of dignitaries there, but this Heroes Hall thing is going to be an amazing piece of history in Costa Mesa at the fairgrounds. You know, they rescued one of the old Santa Ana Army Air Base buildings. They're going to put it right out there on the, and every 11th grader in Orange County will be required to go through that as part of their curriculum. The state Board of
that's great.
Education is going to put that in there, that or maybe it's the County Board of Education, that every 11th grader will take a tour of this Heroes Hall. And one of the really cool things was they did the groundbreaking, and they had an Iraqi war veteran, they had a Korean War veteran, Bob Dugan, they had a World War II veteran who was part of the black pilots that
Oh, yeah.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
And there was a Vietnam veteran. So they had these guys all, and the Iraqi War veteran was a lady.
Really?
So they had them do the first.
I got 2 Iraqi helmets. You think they'd be interested in those?
They might. Talk to
I'm
Nick.
serious, I
I
do.
talked to Nick.
The guy, Lieutenant Colonel that's a friend of mine, was in charge of all the water and fuel for Desert Storm. He was in that city, what's it called?
Illusion.
2 days before they took it, you know. So he brought me back a couple of helmets.
Wow,
Is that like
that's historic.
legal?
He didn't care.
But if you see anything on this, and you get it, it's supposed to open later this year. So I just
It was
kinda
in the
heads up.
newspaper.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really
Pretty
neat,
cool.
really a neat deal. So, for you veterans, Alan, thank you for your service. Yes, ma'am. You have something else? in the
No,
box?
you wanna say something about that too?
Oh, I will let you say it. The last thing I'm gonna say is Happy Easter to everyone.
Oh, that's right.
So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well,
That's-
our district got wastewater collection system in the whole region. We were awarded it,
Yeah.
which is exciting.
Very exciting.
Oh, we did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
see?
From SARB, yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think that was in one of your updates.
that's exciting.
Well, now, aren't we on the state?
Yeah, we didn't make it.
We didn't get the state, oh, okay.
We did, last time we won the local section, we were then CWA or D also.
Okay, any other oral communications or comments from the directors? Bob?
I just forgot. With the community run, their theme is, I started talking about this earlier, so you probably know most of the story, but their theme is superheroes, or heroes, and maybe superheroes. So what I suggested Scott potentially look into is, so they want our sewer slayer materials at our booth. And I don't know if we have a stand-up thing, to attract kids there, but I think we also ought to have
What?
somebody look into.
Why don't you dress up like
I
that?
think that's I'll second that.
No, that's where I was going.
We have a board with the holes in it to throw beanbags through it for this.
Well, I was
Sewer
going a little
slayer.
different route. Yeah, what we could do is look into, a mascot. Like Orange County Water District has a water drop, or Orange County,
That's Orange
Orange
Water
County
District.
Water District.
Yeah, GWRA.
I don't know. I think Orange County Sand District has something, but anyway, that is it's in the paper, and so I'd suggest we look into basically it'd be a helmet, and then
I think
I could wear one
I
of
think you'd
Jim's
be,
shirts,
I think you'd be
big blue
stunning.
shirts,
You'd be stunning.
and that'd be my cape.
I think that would be outstanding, Bob.
And tights.
Let's
Oh,
not
no,
let's
my
don't
War
go that
Jim
let's
shirt
don't go that far.
It would cover me up completely.
Cheryl may not allow that.
Anyway,
Oh,
Take
Christ.
a look at it. See what you can do about a costume. Make sure it fits you.
Called delegation.
Get Steve out there.
anyway, I think it'd be a fun extension of the good press that we've gotten. from-
Yeah.
I think the kids would really like to see something
Yeah,
like that.
I think so.
Okay, at this point then I'm gonna adjourn our meeting to a closed session with legal counsel to discuss litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 and anticipated litigation with the Santa Ana Regional Water Quality Control Board complaint. Okay?
This is,
Okay, I'm gonna reconvene us to open session, and in the matter regarding anticipated litigation with the Santa Ana Regional Water Control Board, we have no action to report out of our closed session. And seeing no other business before the board, I will adjourn us to the May meeting. No, to the April 28th meeting. Okay. We're adjourned. Go Angels. They won today.
Yes.
Trouty had a big
Yes.
bomb. It's fun. Trout hit a big bomb.
Did he?
So did C.J. Crone hit one almost out of Dodger Stadium.
The only thing I didn't.
Oh, they're playing the Dodgers.
No, they played the White Sox. The Dodgers, I should have said that. The White Sox and the Dodgers share a facility in Glendale.
I heard Vin Scully's gonna do one of them, right?
Oh,
In the pre.
Good night, everybody.
See you tomorrow.
Joe Mary was sorry for a loss. Yeah.
But anyway, you can look at my other one and see it's the same.
Okay. No, it's okay. I'll take a look and see.
Nolani, can I get another copy of the,
Expense
the,
report?
no, the meetings?
The list of meetings? Sure.
Yeah.
The calendar?
Yeah,
Sure.
just send it to me.
Am I the, I'm
May-
the red,
have
I'm the
you-
red
maybe-
sticky, huh?
Maybe have-
You're the red sticky and Bob is the yellow sticky. I try to make it easier.
Oh, you make it way too easy.
When's our next staff meeting, Nolani, do you know?
The 4th, next week Monday. Next week Monday? No,
April 4th.
April
Okay,
4th.
Monday
good
the
meeting.
4th?
2 Mondays now, right?
Good meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very deserved.
I don't know about that.
Yes, yes. No, I knew that from the start, as I was on the phone. Oh, I've got it all figured out.
You're good at that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'm heading out with you. I haven't seen you in a long time.
No.
You
How's Jason?
everywhere.
I was telling Elizabeth the other morning, they had the big Filipino shower last Saturday.
Oh, boy.
Holy cow.
I can imagine the
I-
food.
oh my God. They had Chinese food, Filipino food.